Hey everybody, welcome back. Just wanted to polish up a couple things real quick that I left out. There's what I was talking about in the room editor. You see there where it says width and height. That's pertaining to room 1 that we're in now. You can see over here, that's our cell grid. Right now it's set to that. But let's watch it. I'm going to move that number higher and watch it on the fly. We're going to turn the width to 1500. Now watch what happens. It gets bigger. Can do the same thing for the height. Now your room got bigger. That's how you increase the size of your room. Right here, create a new tile layer. Click that. First of all, you need a sprite. I didn't show you earlier how to get sprites in. I showed you where they were. Right here in sprites, if you right click out there, click create sprite. You can either edit image or import. I'm going to import one. Kind of like this one here is one of my favorites. Then you just upload and you see we got this here. Now just remember, this is going to be very basics with tiles. You can do a whole lot more. I am just going to show the bare bones minimum right now. I may have a more updated video on it in the future. Like I said, not going to go into great details, but that is how you create a sprite. You didn't get to see that before. Now, right below there is a tile set. We'll do the exact same thing. Right click in there, go to create, and we're looking for tile set. And always good to name them. Tile sets, I sometimes get lazy. It's a good idea to name everything a convention. If you notice earlier, I did like a couple letters and then an underscore. So I'll do like tile set underscore snow. There's no true way to do this other than you cannot use inappropriate characters, like certain symbols and stuff is not allowed. But this is just for ease, and you want to try to stick to a same method. Makes troubleshooting a lot easier. Now we did that. We named it. It says no sprite. We can select a sprite, go to sprites, and we see right there sprite 4 is there now. Tile set. So now over here we see room editor. Still not using a tile set, so we're going to go to tile set snow, and you can zoom in to see the grid. Since we added so many more, it was hard to keep track of. This here, just scroll it around till you get where you want. There's some shortcuts that you can use as well. But over here is your tile palette. These are the different tiles that we can use. They're pixel art. I'm gonna get something out of that section right there. Now this doesn't really make sense. Well, I guess it does. It's sort of like a space thing. Our guys are out in the abyss. But now, and you see we can adjust the size. I drug it to 40. Now look what happens. We got a whole bunch of tiles all over our area. Like I said, this is just real quick, just going fast, not trying to do a real good pattern. We just got something very basic, but we'll show you another cool thing. If you add another tile layer, and we can go to the same one, tile sets snow, and now we'll paint on top of that other one. Let's go in here and let's get one of these trees. Now look, it's placed on top of the other tiles. Now, if you go to tile 1 and do this, see how it does that? It just draws it. If you want to have stuff stacked on top, you got to go depth and layers. That's there. We also got a cool little bush there. You can throw a couple of these. And see, just a couple of quick clicks. We brought our game to kind of life. But this is tiles. Not, like I said, not going to do a whole bunch here, but this is how you do it. And you can go layer upon layer upon layer. Always remember, the higher up the chain you go, that's what appears first. And earlier when I was talking about instances layer, you do not always have to drag them into there. Of course, sometimes you will by default, but you can also have an item placed in there within code, which you've kind of already seen. I will demonstrate it again. We'll go to our player right here. See, we're placing an instance straight into the game without clicking by code. Instance create layer. You got to give it the X and Y coordinates because this is a grid system. Excuse me. Then the layer. And we're going by instances. Some people don't have an enemy layer. A lot of shooters, you would want to have a bullets layer. This is where it goes into your graphics depth. Like I said, this video was mainly focused on code, not the graphics. But yes, you can get very creative. You would want to typically have your bullet layer above your instances, certain draw like quest layer if you want certain draws. It's just a depth layered system. Can be very important for, you know, as the cosmetic appearance of your game. So that's where we talked. I didn't show you earlier about actually how to create these. Remember, if you're into sprites, you can actually do it anywhere. Right click, and then you can create all these let's go here. Animation curve, extensions, font, note, object, particle system, path, room, script, sequence, shader, sound, sprite, tile set, timeline. That's a lot of default groups that you can do it. And we also see here different stuff. Animation curves, extensions, fonts, notes, particle systems, paths, rooms, scripts. Scripts are very important. We're not going to cover them in this room, in this tutorial, really. But just know, if you call a script, create a script, it is global in scope and it is initialized before your game starts. We'll go more into that in a later thing. But no, that's what scripts are. And we see our sprites. Like I said, you can create a sprite anywhere. You can create it here in objects. Create a new sprite. And it puts it in there. But see, now we got a sprite in our objects. It's best just to stay organized. Like I said, you start getting a big game, it can get chaotic. And I will show you. You didn't see me create these other guys. They're in a new sprite. Go to edit image. I called it a notepad. It's actually like paint. Click a shape. And we got a big circle. Then we can go here, fill tool, and boom, now we got a yellow circle. You can do all kind of little stuff. Give him some eyes, a nose, and now he's a little guy. But this is what you can do. There are some people that can make very good art. Like I said, I am not one of them. I'm trying to get better at my cosmetics. I'm not going to lie, I'm guilty. I love coding more than arts, but it is very important, especially if you're doing a solo project. It falls all on you. You've got to do it all. So that's some of the stuff I didn't cover before. And another thing is, let's see here. We went over that. Let's go more into the objects. There are events. I talked about a create event, but what is the create event? The create event happens when the instance is first created. All of this code is ran before anything else. When it's created, these are initialized. So if you set that speed variable there, and if we change it later in a step event, it overrides the create event. This only happens once per instance upon creation. That's why it's called a create event. We have our collision event. As we said, you hear add event. This is the main area where you add them. You got all these: create, destroy, clean up, step. There's 3 different types of step. Alarms, all those different alarms. Draws, mouse, key down, gesture, collision, utter. This is where we're showing you a collision objects. See, we can collide with 3 different objects already. We've only got 1 for enemy, but you can have multiple collisions, and you will. But as collision, create. Another big one is step. The step event happens every game frame. So if your game is running at 60 frames per second, you're having 60 steps per second. This is a good event to do a lot of logic and stuff. It's getting applied a lot. This is where I usually have some battle stuff going on if I don't want to handle it in collisions, where I'm having like a basic attack that happens every couple seconds, or I set up an auto script or something like that. This can be executed in a step event because it happens, every frame that the cooldown will allow it. It will get performed in here. Very good area. You can also do it in alarms. And another big one that you'll use a lot is draw. You got draw, draw GUI, draw begin, draw end, pre-draw, post-draw. These can be very important. I've been watching some stuff. These draw events, they do more than just draw text. They draw your sprite. This is drawing everything. Too much to get into in this little quick course, but just know these are some powerful things. A lot of big ones I like to use is draw GUI. Draw GUI is a real good one, but they're all there for different reasons. That's getting more into events. Let's see. Movement. I about forgot it again. There's a lot of different ways you can move, and depending what you need done. One of the easiest ways I like to do is key press. Letters, I go by the S. Actually, not key press, sorry, key down. Letters. We're just going to go with this because with me doing this on my phone still. Key down, we got left, up. And you want to make sure this is key down for movement. Right. Unless you want to work in different logic in your game. But normally key down means when the key is down, they'll perform it. Let's close out some of these because see all of our events are popping up here. S. S is what I like to use for move forward. So that means he would go up vertically, increase. So Y gets smaller towards the top. So your Y value, Y equals Y minus whatever you want your speed to say. We'll say 6. A little blurry. There we go. Y equals Y minus 6. There we go. Y equals Y minus 6. That's our S. That's what I'm going to use for moving up. Key down left. This is our horizontal to the left. So as we go to the left, the numbers get smaller. So guess X equals X minus 6. I'm using a default number here. You could have a move speed variable. You create all different kinds of stuff. This will just move us 6 pixels every time we have the button held down. Up. Oh, well, man. I forgot. Well, S will be fine too, but we can also do up. because yeah, we went away from the letters. Up. Y equals Y, and going up gets shorter, so -6. So we get to the top of the y-axis, the numbers get lower. Key down, right. Moving to the right. As we move to the right, our x numbers get higher. So x equals x plus 6. And key down. As we go down, our y numbers get higher. So y equals y plus 6. And always put a semicolon at the end. You don't have to. It's very good practice for getting used for other languages. With that, we've got all of our movement defined. Now let's save and play. Now our guy will be able to move around the room a little bit. I press the up key, he goes up. Press the down key, we go down. Press the right key, we're going right. Press the left key, we're going left. That is a very basic, simple movement system. This system does not check for collisions. Now, if we wanted to, we could make it where if we bumped into that tree, we can't move through it. Right now, we can. We don't have any collisions set with this tree. It's just a tile layer. You can have collisions based on tile layers, but you can also set them to objects. You could create a fake dummy bounding box around that, and as our player approaches it, he would not be able to move through it. There's numerous ways you can do that. I will show you real quick, just in case you need it in your game. One of the easiest ways is place free. And place free needs an X and a Y. So for this, we're going to have to define some other variables.